Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Black Logic. Now, the Trump administration has announced a 1-month exemption from the newly imposed 25% tariffs on auto imports from Canada and Mexico. And this decision that Donald Trump has made comes after decisions with major automakers like General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis, aiming to prevent potential economic disadvantages for these companies. Stocks for these automakers saw significant gains following the announcement, reflecting investor optimism. Now, a lot of people state that politics, presidents can't dictate how stock markets operate or how they respond, rather. Well, politics and the economy is all ran by politicians in the decisions and the statements that they make. So they essentially control the economy as well as the stock market. It don't matter, the S&P 500, the New York Stock Exchange, et cetera, the Dow, they control how the stock market operates. I was just talking to a niece of mine about investing and how when Donald Trump was first in office, he put tariffs on a lot of the EV Chinese automakers, and it hurt my particular stock, NEO. When I used to do financial videos, I'm gonna show you very quickly here. Give me 1 second. When I used to do my financial records, my financial videos on Robinhood, I was teaching people how to invest, save, budget, etc. I was doing very, very well with NEO. I bought NEO around $36, $37 a share. It rolls up to around $56, maybe $60 a share. I'm gonna show you guys live here. Okay, so here's my position with NEO. My average cost $37.51. I am down $2,300 roughly at 88%. Now, if we go back, let's just hit the 5-year mark here. When this stock was around 37, I stated, okay, 37. So somewhere in here that I bought this stock, even if I come down here, but nonetheless, I bought this stock around 37, and it was around in 2020, around this time. So instead of me selling, because there's no indicator that NEO was going to go down, except for one vital piece of information. What year is this? 2021. Who was the president during 2021? Donald Trump. As soon as Donald Trump took office, and days, weeks, months after, he announced that he was imposing tariffs on Chinese automakers or Chinese products altogether. Forgot the actual tariff that he imposed, but it affected China's automakers, especially EV makers. So, I mean, I lost thousands of dollars, as you've seen. So the question is, the way that the stock market is responding currently is due to the imposed tariffs that Donald Trump has put on a lot of China, Canada, and Mexico as well. Now, again, he's been in office, what, almost 2 months here. He probably has another month, maybe 40 or 50 days before his 100 days. And again, ever since talks about these tariffs, literally my stock portfolio amount for Robinhood has declined significantly. I'm roughly down $10,000. And for me, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. But do I believe that Donald Trump is doing the right thing? He scaled back on tariffs for automakers, which are American companies that have imports from Canada and Mexico, because again, Canada and Mexico makes a lot of our American cars. I mean, quite frankly, we only really have 2 American car makers now, General Motors and Ford. That's it. I'm talking about gasoline cars, by the way. But that's all we have right now. So I wanted to kind of go over breaking down a tariff and who actually pays it. Because we understand that a tariff is essentially a tax imposed by our government on goods and services imported from other countries. Again, a tariff is essentially a tax that governments impose on other countries and governments for imported services and goods. Now, the goal is to make imported goods more expensive. Why would they do that? Why would they deliberately make imported goods more expensive? Because we understand by Donald Trump raising tariffs on all these countries where we're getting a lot of our products from, even food. Did you guys know that we receive imports of food from China? Did you guys know that? Chicken, beef, rice. Did you guys know that? I mean, when you look at China, India, a lot of these overpopulated countries, and think about all the farms that used to be in America that are now housing developments because a lot of people from other countries are moving to America and we are decreasing our farmland. So if we are decreasing our farmland because a lot of farmers are just selling off their land, they're getting tired of it, a new regime or their kids took charge and they're selling the farmland. Farming is no longer the family business. And they're selling to these large developers. And we have a lot of foreigners come over here for a lot of the tech jobs that we have and the construction jobs because of all the people that's moving to America. We're importing food like beef and chicken and rice. We have more than enough room to grow our own produce, more than enough room. But why would Donald Trump impose tariffs that will affect the citizens of America? Because right now, America, can we be real? We don't have any loyalty. We don't have any loyalty. We don't have any honor. We just buy anything that essentially pleases us. I'm not stating that we should only buy American. But this is why tariffs exist to a certain degree. They raise and they move tariffs to encourage the citizens to buy products that are created and made by the citizens of that country. This is one of the major strategies for people. Again, I don't think, and I tell people, this is all connected. The whole America First agenda, the whole increase in tariffs to 25%, even though economists told Trump, which is basic, is basic economics. If you raise tariffs on other countries, they're going to raise tariffs on you. Thus, the products and the services that Americans receive from these other foreign countries are going to increase. Donald Trump, like, good. What is that going to do? That's going to bring a lot of businesses back to America. That's going to help Americans build businesses, okay? Whether it be from farming, manufacturing, distribution. That means Americans are going to go back to warehousing. They're going to go back to manufacturing. People are starting to do contracts with Americans to American business, American manufacturing, American distribution, American logistics, American retail. That means that dream that you have of owning your own clothing store may come back, but you better have an online, an online site people can order too, because people love ordering clothes offline. But a lot of people still like to go in and try a couple of things, shoe stores, etc. So I want you to think about a lot of the businesses that you've seen that have been taken over by illegal immigration. Then I want you to look at a lot of the businesses that has been taken over by immigrants that essentially Americans once did, or they have cornered the market so much that you rarely see an American in that position. Let me name a couple of things. When you drive through America in certain areas, did you guys know that 57%, listen, 57% of the gas stations in America are owned by Indian people? People who are native born to India, who came over here, H-1B visas, resident card, green card, whatever. 57% of the gas stations in America are owned by Indian people. And I don't even want to get into statistics of how many people either from India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Ethiopia own 7-Elevens and own a lot of the convenience stores. Am I saying that these people should not own it? I'm just stating, and I stated this on my X feed or Twitter feed, whatever you want to call it. There used to be an identity that Americans have. We are becoming such a melting pot. Remember when we used to say, oh, America is a melting pot, and it was a really good thing. That is because you can go to certain parts of town and get certain spices and artifacts and products and services and all types of stuff. It was cool. It was cool. But now we have let the wolves in the hen house, and we're the hens because America is losing our identity because of mass immigration and illegal immigration. I'm not stating that these things shouldn't exist because people argue America's a land of immigrants. Again, if we look at the very foundation of America in those three major groups that created America, okay, the European rejects, the European colonizers that came over here, okay, as well as the Mongolian type red looking Native Americans and the native black people who were here, as well as the enslaved Africans that were brought over. Again, I'm kind of combining the two black groups. So essentially 3 groups. Then you have other groups of immigrants from different European countries, south of the border as well, that came over, but they still have been here for, let's say, 4 to 5 generations. So when you take that core nucleus of people and their descendants, these are Americans, and we have shaped a culture of the things that we like, the things that we don't like, and that is what our Constitution is built on. That is what our governing laws from state and local municipalities are built on. But as we continue to allow massive immigration and massive illegal immigration, you start to see the culture of America decline. You start to understand that we are losing our identity as Americans. Was it because of greed? I'm just asking a question. But tariffs are used to encourage citizens to buy products and services from their country. So the imported goods that people like, these special spices from the Dominican Republic or India or China or Japan or Africa or the Caribbean, you love them special spices. Yeah, those prices are going to go up. Because I can tell you right now, there's plenty of American companies that sell those same spices. But I digress. But those are some of the reasons why. Because tariffs are levied on foreign exporters. The increased costs are often passed down to the citizens, to the consumers in the form of higher prices. So in many cases, it's the consumers, it's us who end up paying more regarding government revenue, because tariffs do bring in money. They do. But they can also lead to higher prices for goods and potentially dampening consumer spending and affecting the overall economy. Yeah, tariffs will make us money, but tariffs will make us money and tariffs may cost us money. Now, I wonder what you guys really think about this right here. Oh man, the infamous Brandon Johnson and Mayor Eric Adams down there to the far left of the picture there. But Republican representatives are intensifying efforts to investigate mayors of sanctuary cities like Chicago, Boston, New York, and Denver. And I believe they saying mayors, or they're not referring to the governors, right? But during a recent House Oversight Committee hearing, Republicans argue that these city policies, which limit cooperation with federal immigration authorities, could be undermining federal law enforcement. They are urging the Department of Justice to look into whether these policies are in violation of federal law. Now, the mayors, however, defend their stance by stating that such policies help in building trust within the immigrant communities, thereby enhancing public safety. I'm always curious about how we have like these three major levels of government. You have the federal government, the state government, and then you have your local government, right? You have your mayors, you have your city councilmen, you have your aldermen. So you have all these different levels of government, all these different politicians, and they're going after the sanctuary city mayors, but not the state governor who allow these mayors to do whatever the heck they want to do. That's confusing to me. It's kind of like, I don't know, the president allowing his department heads that he put in place, that he appointed and selected, for them to run rampant and not check them or fire them. Does governors have the power to fire mayors? I thought they did. So why is Republicans going after the mayors versus the governor who has allowed this behavior, who has allowed a lot of these sanctuary cities that are violating constitutional immigration laws? That's very intriguing. Because there's a mix of demographics in here. So I won't really say it's a race thing. You got, Eric Adams there on the far left. You have Brandon Johnson. I think one of these is New Hampshire. I could be wrong. Let me look into this very quickly. Because they do have a wide plethora of different mayors that they have in here. Okay, Chicago, Boston, New York, and Denver. So yeah, they may be investigating these mayors and possibly put them up on charges of violating immigration laws, of federal immigration laws. Now, the Supreme Court has ruled against Trump administration attempt to withhold payments to foreign aid groups. Now, this decision ensures that funding will continue to flow to these organizations. They're stating that Trump cannot stop foreign aid, that the federal judges approved that foreign aid should flow to these organizations once again. And this plays a very crucial role in global humanitarian efforts, do it not? The court's ruling emphasizes the importance at adhering to established funding commitments, regardless of changing political landscape. They stated that we had a contract of giving these countries money, and we have broken the contract by stop paying. Now, I'd be so curious about things in politics. I try to stay astute to a certain degree, but I don't want to know too much because I still want to be boggled to a certain degree. I want to be confused. I know some people like that doesn't make any sense. To me, I just want the mystery behind it all. We have a contract of granting countries free money, and we've broken that contract. Like, what? We're getting nothing in return, but we have to buy by the contract, I guess. Oh, okay. All right. That makes sense, does it not? That makes a little bit of sense.
Supreme Court ruled against the administration of U.S. President Donald Trump on Wednesday, upholding a lower court decision that the government cannot withhold payment to foreign aid organizations for work they've already performed. The legal setback comes as the Republican president moves to pull the plug on American humanitarian projects around the world. Pursuing what he has called a, quote, America First agenda, Trump ordered a 90-day pause on all foreign aid in his first day back in office. That order and ensuing stop work orders halting U.S. Agency for International Development operations around the world have jeopardized delivery of life-saving food and medical aid, throwing global humanitarian relief efforts into chaos. Aid organizations accused Trump in lawsuits of exceeding his authority under federal law by stepping into an...
All right, you get the point. Now, let me pop up a message. I usually get away from messages, but we can go down a rabbit hole. I'm just gonna call her Oh My, if that's okay. I'm just gonna call her Oh My. I know how to pronounce it. Canada and Mexico is America also. To distinguish between the three, why not just say the U.S., which is a corporation? Very, very good question. I have an answer. I have a great answer. I've been asked this many, many times, even when I was in Central America, when I was in Costa Rica, when I was in Colombia, even when I was in, Mexico, plenty of times. Mexico is a beautiful place. Don't get me wrong. Don't get illegal immigration mixed up with the country itself. Two different things. But to answer her question, first and foremost, yes, Mexico and Canada are part of North America, which is the name of the landmass. Okay, then you have Mexico, who is located in North America, but they're not considered to be in Central America, or are they? Correct me if I'm wrong. Last time I checked, it's United States of America, Mexico, Central America, South America. So you have all these land masses and a country that has America in its name. So South America. Is there any other South American country that has America in their name? Maybe it's a territory of US. I don't know. Again, I love the question because I'm just going to do some deductive reasoning. Central America. Now, last time I checked, again, my geography could be off. Mexico is not in Central America, it's in North America. So it's just called Mexico. And Mexico don't say Mexico America or the United States of Mexico. Okay. Then you have Central America. So all these people residing in South America, Central America, and North America, can they call themselves American? They can. They can. But here's the difference. Canadians will never call themselves American, even though they're located in North America. Or are they located in North America? See, it's a slippery slope when I go down this rabbit hole that I told you guys I started. But let me tell you why that Americans say America as if the whole world knows what we're talking about. That is because they do. Once you hear an American speak and they say America or American, you automatically know what country you're talking about. But you won't hear someone from South America say, I'm American. They'll say, I'm Chile, I'm Brazilian, I'm this, I'm that. They would tell you what they are. A British person say, I'm English, or I'm British, I'm French, or whatever the case. People from the different African countries, over 52, 54 African countries. They may say that they're African, but they mostly say, oh, I'm Nigerian, I'm Ghanaian, I'm Kenyan, I'm this, I'm that, I'm South African, etc. The term America and American is just something that we adopted and it sticks. It's easy. We're the staple of America. Wait a minute, what America are you talking about? North America, South America, Central America? No, we just talking about America. And to the point, and to your point, again, I'm spending a little bit of time on this question here, but to her point, I just want to point something out to her very, very quickly. If you guys can bear with me, because she said the United States is a corporation. Give me 1 second. I just want to share something with you guys very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. I think it's still up. Give me 1 second. I'm just trying to get to it. If I can only spell this correctly. Give me 1 second, please. I wanted to know if this video that I posted years ago was still in YouTube's repository. But I wanted to make her aware that I created a video, a long form video of how United States of America is a corporation. So I agree with you on that part. And that's why Donald Trump is running as a business. And that's why his first term, it doesn't matter what demographic, what you believe, what you didn't believe, people who own businesses, okay, people who own businesses, small businesses, big businesses, and people who had investments accounts like myself may publicly talk mean about Trump, but behind closed doors, like, man, stock market is really good right now. I digress. I went off on a tangent there. I do apologize, but that was to answer Omi's statement and question. So again, yeah, they're cutting off aid, but the judges have lifted that ban, and those countries are now still receiving U.S. aid. Okay, we'll see how that turns out. Now, this story came to me late. I just wanted to cover it very quickly because there was a 14-year-old boy that has been missing for 7 years. And we know, like a lot of these usual cases, one of the parents has kidnapped the child. I want you guys to listen in on this very, very quickly.
Body cam video shows the moment deputies crack a 7-year-old kidnapping cold case.
And next is what I like to describe as the aha moment, when the deputies realized that there was a warrant out for this woman's arrest.
Interesting. It's a 19 warrant, updated in 23. So there it is.
Yep, that's her.
It started as a trespassing call about a man and woman illegally entering a vacant home for sale.
This call not only led to the apprehension of 2 suspects, but unknown to everyone at the time, to the discovery of a missing child and the resolution to a 7-year-old mystery.
That mystery, the 2017 kidnapping of Abdul Aziz Khan, who was 7 years old at the time. His mother accused of kidnapping him during a custody battle.
I left the courthouse.
All right, this is the only point that I wanted to make out of this video very quickly. It was stating how the mother kidnapped him basing over a custody battle. And I want to show you guys something very quickly here. Let me see if I can get that back. Give me 1 second. Okay, this is his mother. Okay. This is his mother. Her name is Rabia Khalid. Okay. But it's something I highlighted for you guys. And this is her husband. This is not the boy's father. Okay. I just want to point that out. This is not the boy's father. This is her husband. Okay. And they were breaking into a house, maybe trying to squat in that house with 2 children. Now, they haven't gave any information on the second child, but the child that she kidnapped was her child, and she was basically keeping it from the father. Here we go. Let me show you this very quickly. They said Rabia Khalid and the boy's father, Abdul Khan, separated in 2014 and been dealing with years of custody disputes, according to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Khalid moved from New Orleans to Atlanta with her son for a new job shortly before kidnapping, making it more challenging for the boy's father to see him. Then on November 17, 2017, the mother did not show up for a custody hearing in Atlanta, and she and the boy were not seen until this year. 7 years. Why did I bring this up? How many, and ladies, this is not against you guys at all, but I just want to know how many parents are kidnapping their children and keeping it from the significant other. Now, because there's more single mothers in the world than there are single fathers, how many women are kidnapping their kids so the father can no longer see them? And the father's not, abusing the child or anything like that. They're just simply doing it to hurt the man. I'm just asking questions. I wonder that statistic, if that exists at all. Some of the stuff I think I just battle with, so to speak. But I think we left some of these stories about the tariffs far too soon. And I really want to touch up on these tariffs because it has to deal with our money. Because it's really important to consider the broader economic implications of this, because while the intention behind imposing tariffs is to protect domestic industries, they can lead to increased prices for us all, and how it may hurt us now. Some people can't hurt financially now. For instance, in response, U.S. tariffs affected countries and might impose their own tariffs on American goods. We know that whole tit for tat situation that will escalate a trade war, in my opinion. It kind of just makes me think. The tariffs will make America money, but it also may cost Americans money. And if you're well off, if you're not living paycheck to paycheck, then this is fine for you. But the interplay between trade policies, immigration enforcement, and a lot of the judicial decisions continue to shape our nation's landscape. But I wonder, are American citizens who may not be as financially stable as others, are we looking at the bigger picture? Is it okay for 45%, 55% of the country to squalor because of tariffs, of how we want other countries to pay their fair share? Is there a middle ground where we can still be profitable and goods and services in America of foreign products don't raise? Or is this a much bigger picture of Donald Trump and the Trump administration forcing Americans to invest in America, United States of America, to build businesses that we usually outsource to China with manufacturing of our products and other foreign logistic industries to dispute it throughout America, and also the retail stores, whether it be online or brick and mortar. Is this to negatively and positively influence America who wants to be business owners? It could be. Again, this is one of the ploys for you guys to start buying American products. You are American, right? And there's a lot of products that you buy that you could buy American. It's probably a little more expensive. Or a lot of the products you buy aren't American. So the best way to invest in America is to have Americans build American businesses that foreigners have infiltrated and built, so Americans can start buying from Americans and buying American products or American goods. Because I tell you this, when I go to other countries, African countries, Caribbean countries, Asian countries, don't matter what country I'm in, majority of the products on the shelf are from that country. I want to say 85% of the products on the shelf is from that country. And as it should be. Yeah, there has some creature comforts of American products and goods that from around the world. In some grocery stores, they have a foreign section. They got 2 aisles. That's it. But the entirety of the grocery store is their products from their country. So, are you pro-America? Are you pro-America or anti-American? I'm just asking questions. I'm just asking questions at this point. Tola says, hopefully it will lead to the U.S. building our own companies and factories, which will lead to more jobs. Absolutely, and I agree. Because when we had a lot of these factory jobs, I'm going to go there. Even for Black folk, we were doing a lot better. Because we were in a lot of these manufacturing jobs. A lot of these blue collar jobs. Now, granted, you can't blame everything. We can't blame everything on international goods or foreign goods or immigration or even illegal immigration. Unfortunately, advanced technology has wiped away a lot of, the jobs that a lot of American citizens had. Now, what we are supposed to do is to be very malleable, right? Formidable, meaning that we're going to adapt to this new economy. We're going to adapt, meaning we're going to go back to school. We're going to take certification courses so we can operate in this economy, so we can own and operate in this economy. Because all of these businesses, man, they're streamlining, they're cutting the fat, they're using automation, robotics, AI. They're using all sorts of things that are making their businesses more efficient. They have less variations in their processes, less deductioning. They are just improving productivity. They're doing a lot of great things. But in the end, they're cutting the workers because they no longer need them. So again, I always say this, but definitely encourage your children, right? If they want to be a construction worker, make sure they take some, computer literacy, AI, something, autonomous, something dealing with technology and software. Doesn't matter what they want to be, just prepare them for the world, because that is the world. Everything is voice automated or push button this or start or voice command, you name it. It's autonomously driving itself. Prepare your kids. Okay, I got a couple of more minutes. To buy American products, again, is the reason for the tariffs. Right, I agree. We made the best products. Indeed, we did. American products have always been solid. We had a standard of how our products felt in the hand. Like, don't get me wrong. Let's take, for instance, is there, other than Apple, are there any major, Google, I'm tripping. I used to have a Google Pixel. But take, for instance, a phone like Samsung, right? This is a premium product. Google Pixels are, and as well as Apple. But just think of a world where everyone came to America to get the real McCoy, to get a premium product, a product that wasn't cheap and flimsy, but it was made to last. That's what everybody knew, that America made strong, durable, long-lasting, whatever it is. Go to America, they have the best. And we used to have these manufacturing jobs. Now we're outsourcing, because, a lot of people who were working those jobs in Detroit, Detroit was the car making hub of America. And there was all sorts of people working at, these manufacturing plants, all sorts of people, all sorts of Americans, but they were making a great living. I won't say great. They were making a decent living. Then big business came in and we started to outsource all of our labor and all of our work, not 100%, but a great majority, to countries like Canada and Mexico. This sometimes, every now and again, if you look in your driver's door and you look in the door well, sometimes you can see where a majority of your car was built. Even when you buy it, right? If you buy it new, it tells you that this percentage of your car was made in Mexico. This percentage of your car was made in Canada. It tells you those things. Hopefully this works out for us. I don't know. I just don't know. Nonetheless, you guys have a great and wonderful evening. This is Black